Big shout to okjersey.com. Scan the QR code below and actually go to the link below to get affordable football shirts from all the European leagues, including the English clubs, all of them, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, City, Spurs, Chelsea, all of them, of course, are all there. You can get the current ones, past seasons, and also some absolute gems out there, vintage ones, and actually very affordable football shirts, high quality, like the one I'm wearing right here. It is very simple to get one. Let me show you how. You go to the website. It's very simple. You click on the Premier League, pick the club you want. For me, I pick Newcastle, for example. You go there, you will find all the current ones, training ones as well. You add whatever you want to the cart. Of course, check the sizes, add a patch, add to cart, but also never forget, as it says below, scan the QR code and put the code JUDGE in the checkout to get 8% discount. It's that easy. Just go to the website, check the football shirt you want. You will not regret it. Now, let's get back to our stream. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. Arsenal beat Spurs. Inter lose to AC Milan, of course, and everyone wants to banter. We fucking sucked in front of the goal. But Eze's hat-trick, fantastic. The energy is not there for me, to be honest. Hit that like button, people, if you're here. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Look at the two Arsenal fans, of course, with Gunnar Souls and Romario Webster, of course, are here. Absolutely ripping Arsenal. And Chris, your first time on the channel, welcome. He's from Spotlight on Spurs, Luke's channel. You guys have seen Luke plenty of times. Welcome, Luke. It couldn't be a worse day, Chris, for you to be here.
Nah, it couldn't be any worse.
Yeah. And Eze scoring a hat-trick is ridiculous to me.
That's so Spurs, honestly. That's so Spurs.
So strange, bro. Like,
I think if you ask
any Spurs which player you do want to score in this game, it's tell you this guy. The guy that left us to go to Arsenal. But big up. Okay, we'll start with Spurs, actually. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Guys, in the chat, we just started, over 150 people, and we're just starting the show. Hit that like button, people, if you guys are here. I want to hear from you in the chat. If you want to banter, I'm here for the banter. And if anyone in the chat wants to cook me, I'm fine with it. We deserve it, even though we played very good. Hit that like button. Let's get to 100 like right off the bat. And I'm going to start with the Spurs people. Were Arsenal great or were you guys shit? Because a lot of people keep telling me, oh, God, don't forget, Spurs are shit. I'm like, Arsenal make them look shit. No, Spurs are shit. They're just shit. Were you guys bad or were they just too good for you?
I don't think Arsenal got out of second gear. I don't think they got it there. I don't think they needed to. So I think and it's not. This is not me trying to defend it and say that it was from our own doing. I don't think Arsenal needed to. I think they were all right. They done exactly what they needed to do, but we were just dreadful. We were absolutely terrible. There was even the goal wasn't deserved. That was not a 4-1 scoreline at all. That game should have been 4-5s. We said it just before we came on. We was absolutely dominated from start to finish, and there was absolutely no complaints from me that was the final score. As I say, we didn't even deserve a goal, really, to be honest with you. There's some stats that have just come out after the game, and our XG was 0.07. And it was something like if it was based obviously on goals, it would take us something like 14 games to score a goal or something like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. We was terrible. As I say, for me, it felt like we didn't get out of first gear. Arsenal didn't get out of second, and that was the difference. That's how clear this difference is in between Arsenal and Spurs at this moment in time. Unfortunately,
yeah. What do you think, Chris?
I agree with Luke. I don't think they made it out of the changing rooms, the boys. They just, as soon as I see the lineups, I just instantly thought, it's just not going to be a good game. And then it was like within 3 minutes, I think if Rice scores that goal, then the whole game changes massively, because our game plan, which seemed to be hold out till half time as 0-0 and just see how we go. If Rice scores the first goal, then in 3 minutes, your game plan's got to change. But for me, that the hardest part is there's no passion, there's no fight, there's no willingness to want to win the ball, to want to try and go forward. It's just a disappointing game of football to watch, really. I think if you're a neutral, you'd probably watch it and enjoy it from an Arsenal point of view. But every Spurs fan will just be more disappointed. I mean, losing to your rivals is never good, but losing in that manner, it's just horrible. And
I actually think it's before the Arsenal speak, fuck everybody in the chat that is saying Forza Milan. You're mostly Liverpool fans or City fans or whoever is there. The only Arsenal fans can gloat at Chelsea, to be honest. They're second, you know what I mean? Fuck off then. And instead of fucking typing Forza Milan, maybe you can like the damn video. There is over 200 messages now. Just type in Forza Milan. And we're 40 likes. Can we get the likes to at least 200, you frauds? Oh my God. I'm going to ban that Milan word, actually. So, anyway. I swear to God, I'm going to ban that Forza Milan word from the chat. Here you go, Osam. Time out. You're the leader of the cult, Osam. And I'm going to put Osam on a timeout. Here you go. Osam is timed out on the channel. The managing moderator is timed out. Bro, fuck off. You fucking lost at home, 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. Bro, they had more XG than you. Fuck off, bro. Sam, you was crying yesterday. Anyway, whatever, bro. The Nottingham Forest of Serie A. Oh, bro. You support Man United, broski. You support Man United. You haven't seen a league title in like 12 years. You haven't been close to the Champions League. You and AC Milan can genuinely play a game every Tuesday and Wednesday where our clubs in the Champions League, one in Old Trafford, one in San Siro, and you can just call it the Charity Shield or whatever thing you want to call it. Big up for the super chat. Thank you, Ad. Bro, fucking tense in your league, broski. You're tense. Man United fan bantering me is the end of the world.
I thought you become an Arsenal fan now anyway, bro. I thought you joined us.
No, bro, I'm not. Why would I join you?
No, I see a video the other day you put out saying you've been caught. You're an Arsenal fan.
You didn't watch the video. That is your mistake.
No, I did. I winded you up. The thumbnail was enough.
Your mistake, you know?
No, I winded you up. I winded you up. But we'll take you, Mo, for this weekend. If you want to come and be an Arsenal fan, you can come over. You're more than welcome.
Congratulations and everything. But anyway, Anyway, it is what it is. So we got Couch here as well. We got Dennis. Hit that like button, you frauds. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Oh my God.
What's all this Forza Milan? What's going on? What did we miss here?
Oh my God. We lost 1-0 against Milan. It's one of these games, bro. Couch. We were 3 XG. They had 0.8 XG. They won 1-0. I just don't know what to tell you. But we sucked. We sucked in front of the goal. Mike Manyan, you could have had Mike Manyan, had a world-class game.
Yeah, Sanchez, man. What do you mean?
He saved the penalty, and he's fantastic, Mike Manyan, to be honest.
There you go.
I want to go back to the Arsenal conversation. Before we get Dennis, couch critic, of course, guys. You guys have seen couch here all the time. Dennis, of course. I'm going to get to the Arsenal people. Why are you guys at the bottom? I don't know. Anyway, Chelsea won.
Something wrong there, Mo. Sort that out. Let's have
Chelsea
some parliamentary procedure in here.
All right. Here we go. I actually disagree with the boys. I actually think that Arsenal forced Spurs to be awful and terrible today, genuinely. Because Spurs were trying to press. I actually haven't said my piece about the game yet. I actually think that Spurs were trying to press Arsenal in the beginning. They were planning to play toe-to-toe. But the beauty about Arteta's way of playing football sometimes is that he wants Spurs to be where they are at the back. He wants Spurs to be there. He doesn't want it to be a frantic game. He wants to take control of the game. And what he did is that sometime when Arsenal bypass that press, you stop and you build the game from the back. I know that this is the boring way of playing football, but this is to stamp your authority on the game. This is to actually dictate the tempo and dictate where the ball is going to go. But that is what I thought. Of course, Eze is different than anybody else. The risk he takes outside the 18, two left foot, right foot, it doesn't matter. He's just an amazing player. And I think that he was the key, actually, for the win today from Arsenal. But that is my piece about the game. Souls. 6 points ahead of the leading pack.
What a weekend, man. What a weekend. I thought, you know what, City dropped points, Liverpool dropped points. I thought we were going to get a nervy game now. I thought, yeah, do you know what? It'll be typical of Arsenal to ruin it and get a draw. I was never worried about losing. But do you know what? This is the first time I'm going into a North London derby where I didn't even look at the build-up. I didn't watch any content. I didn't hype myself up because I was like, this is just going to be a routine win. Normally in the past, you know, you have a few threats. You have a few people who give you a bit of a nerve. Like Son on his day can do something. Harry Kane on his day will always, you know, ruin the party. You know, you had Eric Lamela, for example, you know, on his day, he'd do a Rabona and score. You know, there was always these weird players who just did something. I look at this Spurs team and I just laugh. And it's just the reality of it. You can call yourself European champions all summer and all of this. You want to give... I'm not talking to the guys on the park. It's probably the first time I've spoken to you, but most of the people that I speak to, especially Deji, humble yourselves, man. Humble yourselves. You man need to know your lane in it. You are who you are. And the reality is, this was just a routine win. Arsenal are just that good. You know, it's so Eze. It's just so Eze for us right now. It is so damn routine. And this is the thing. And you know one thing I want to say, because I keep backing this guy and no one seems to ever want to put respect on his name, Mikel Moreno. I told you, man, about Mikel Moreno, and I said he'll come good for the Arsenal. Did you see that pass? Put some damn respect on that pass. Because that assist for the first goal that Eze scored, for Trossard, sorry, absolutely magnificent. If that's a Messi, you're not hearing about it for years, mate. And this is the thing. That pass was magnificent.
I'm not going to kill you here, but let's just
I don't give a shit.
down here.
This is my time to talk. I am going to keep talking. You can interrupt, but my monologue will continue. Right? Then people want to talk about Thomas Frank, you know, being better than Arteta. Everyone's better than Arteta until he comes face to face with the man.
Facts.
Everyone is better until you come to his ground, you come to his backyard, and he gives you the spanking you need. He will always humble these guys. And this is why I'll keep saying, this is why I can't ever be Arteta out. I get it. He hasn't got it over the line. I get it. We've bottled it. I get it. But the reality of the matter is, when you look at the young up-and-coming managers, he's a class apart. He is one of the best in his class. And that's the reality. He's one of the best around. The only thing he now needs to do is get this team to win once. And I'm telling you, the era of Arsenal is starting. All it is, it's like when a player goes through a drought and he scores one, and that's it. The floodgates open. That's what everyone's scared of. As soon as Arsenal win one trophy, the era of Arsenal begins.
Oh my God, this is what drives
me. And that's the reality. My monologue has not ended. My monologue has just started. The King's speech. Respect your table leaders.
Facepalm is classic, man.
Yeah.
Nah, do you know what it is?
But gone. Right. But the reality is, look, today was a phenomenal game. Eze rejected Arsenal. The guy called Arteta, said, yo, brother, any chance you can save me from internal doom and hell? And Arteta, the savior, said, don't worry, brother, come here. And do you know what? You repaid that favor today and scored a hat-trick on their head top. You wanted to glorify this American win in the friendlies in the summer and said Spurs are coming for everything. Yeah, hold that, man. Hold that. You, man, deserve it. You guys needed the humbling. And that's the reality of the matter. I'm so glad
no Spurs fans said they were coming for anything. No Spurs fans said
he's talking to certain people that actually spoke to him before the game on other channels. He's not directing this to the panelists.
No. It's not even before the game. This is what all summer, you man got so giddy over this. Reject European.
You guys don't understand the people that do the content.
Honestly, pissed me off. Man were trying to tell me about Yokre. Man were trying to tell me how shit our windows were. That, we've got Xavi Simmons. Simmons says, you look like Sideshow Bob today. What did you do for the man? Man looked distraught out there. Man looked like he aged 70 years. He looked like he's ready to be a manager. And also, rip that Xavi off your name, man. You are a disgrace to the Xavi name. Put Simons on the back of that. Simon says, fam, Eze who? Yeah, your manager deserved it. Your manager tempted fate and Eze called and answered. That's what it is. Now say Eze who, even as a joke, put some respect on this team. Yo, do you know what it is? This team is a narrative breaking everything. They said Gabriel's out, no more set pieces, all of this. Guess what? We gave you 4 open goals. Now talk. What's the next narrative we can break? I hope someone starts a narrative we can't win the league or we can't win the Champions League. Let's go break the narrative because that's all we're doing this season. We're going to break every narrative. We're going to piss off the fan base. We're going to piss off the media. And do you know how we're going to win the league on the last day of the season? We're going to go win it with a set piece in the 95th minute. I'm telling you that now.
Now, Souls, listen, I like your passion. We're going to have the league won before the last game of the season. But you're right. You're right.
You know that winning goal will be a set piece.
The winning goal will be a set piece. Listen, I piggyback a lot of what Souls has just said there. I like it. I like the energy. And it's about time, I think, Arsenal fans believed and stuck our chests out a bit. And
what? That's all Arsenal fans do. Arsenal fans have stuck their chests out.
All you guys do. What are you talking about, man?
We don't actually.
That's why it's so funny when you guys bottle it every year because it's always this talk and then you bottle it. But go on.
Let me land. The reason why I say it's time we stick our chests out a bit is, and you say we bottle it normally. I mean, the seasons we did bottle it. Mo knows we've been on here before, we've spoken about it, but we had the likes of Rob Holding playing when we lost the league to City that year. They go on a treble. I mean, Pep Guardiola, Erling Haaland. You know, you can lose to worse teams, right? You can, but this year's different. The squad's different. Gabriel's out the team. You hear Souls. They only score from set pieces. And Capier's in there. He looked like he played 30 games this flawless. Okay, this squad's different. And you know what it is? Beating Tottenham for me isn't the statement that solidifies us winning the league. I think it's the fact City lost at Newcastle and Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest. I think those two losing and us winning really is what is giving Arsenal fans the confidence. I tell you though, if we go to Chelsea, when we go to Chelsea next week, we need a big result. I'm confident we can get through.
That's the game. That's the game that will decide it.
If we beat Chelsea, I think it's all but undeniable. And I don't think we have any excuse at this point. But that Chelsea game, if we go to Stamford Bridge, beat them, because they are 6 points off us. And Mo, I painted the picture a few weeks back. Chelsea fans keep denying the title charge, but now they're the closest team to us, 6 points behind. Next week, that game.
But Gunnar Solskjaer said they won the league already.
Yeah, I think we have. I think we've got no excuse.
No, we're keeping it humble. We're keeping it humble. One game at a time.
You can't do that.
One game at a time. Game week 13, we're the champions. One game at a time, though.
No, one game at a time. No, we build up to that, innit? We build up to that.
You guys are hilarious.
Chelsea. That's just.
So you didn't come and humble one, to be fair. You did say like it's done. We're gonna go on.
Can we go back to analyzing the game a little bit before we talk in general about the league and all the stuff? I actually think, from my point of view, it is astonishing to look at this Arsenal team with backups like Madueke and Martinelli, where clearly Martinelli wasn't fit to play. Yeah, Madueke played in the second half without Gabriel, without a striker, and finished the game 4-1. Against a Spurs team that is before this game was the top of the table in an away form. in an away league, right? A team that only conceded 3 goals away from home in 5 games. For Arsenal to score 5, and it could have been 6, to be honest. And the goal that Spurs scored, brilliant finish by Richarlison. But come on, that doesn't happen every game. It's not that Spurs created a chance in the game.
Mhm.
I think this is the most impressive thing. The way Arteta was able to manage the game without a striker against a back 5 of Spurs is what, for me, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is a tactical masterclass.
Yeah.
Because we saw for 30 minutes, you were deep. But that ball that Trossard scored, it just happened in the second minute. By the way, it's kind of very similar. It's that short run behind the back 3 that Declan Rice made the run, and then the other one, it was Trossard. It's the same exact run, right? Between the 2 center backs inside the area and that dink. It happened for Moreno, and then before that was Eze created that chance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right? For Declan Rice.
Yeah.
So that is a tactical thing that Arteta built. Forget the banter and all the stuff, and Spurs was shit. Spurs tried to defend. Spurs had numbers behind the ball, and also still broke them loose. And in the second, just one thing about the second half. I'm going to tell you the difference between 2 managers currently. Yesterday, when Liverpool played, at halftime, Arne Slot had 15 minutes at 1-0 down to put the team together for them to start the second half. They walk out at Anfield, and within 2 minutes, they concede and the game is done for Nottingham Forest. The energy that Liverpool showed after the halftime versus the energy that Arsenal showed at 2-0 up at halftime, you're expecting Spurs to come out more energetic. They're up for it. Thomas Frank is rallying up the troops, But then Arsenal, within 1 minute, they just silence everybody. That is just the difference between a halftime talk. I've been in these halftime talks. There's one manager that gives you that energy to step out of the dressing room like, I'm winning this. I'm scoring the 3rd, right? And that's what Arsenal did. For Spurs, Thomas Frank, it looked like Spurs coming out of the second half, gone. You have no belief as well.
They were gone after the first goal. And
that's the difference. Like Arteta built the team in that halftime. It's like, okay, Arsenal came out of the second half. We're like, we're the better team still. We're not defending
100%.
here.
And that's why I wasn't slating Arsenal in any way by saying they didn't get out of second gear. They fully deserved the victory, and by that margin, if not more. But they didn't need to do anything. We didn't create. They didn't need to do anything. And when you say about the playing 5 at the back or 3 at the back, depending on how you want to look at it, that's where all these little tactical tweaks matter, right? We often say it with wingers and wing backs. Is the winger going to push the wing back far, going to push him back defensively, or is he going to make him go and chase the winger going to chase the wing back? And when you play 3 centre backs and you know that there's a very strong likelihood that Arsenal are not going to play with a striker, you essentially leave them free marking nobody. So then you've got to deal with runners, right? Sometimes it's actually easier if you're playing there with a false 9. It's actually easier to play with a 4 at the back than it is to play 5 because you're not marking anyone. It's different if you've got one coming up against you and then you've got the little runs in behind that Trossard made, and all of a sudden it's a problem. So that's where I think was a big difference maker in this game. Listen, Arsenal are very much like what Liverpool were a few years back in terms of a well-oiled machine. Everybody knows exactly what they need to do. City was more about everyone knows where they need to be, but they just got star quality everywhere. They can just create out of nothing. Whereas Arsenal, it's very much it's you take one player out, you put another player in. They know their job. They just carry on with that cog, and that's the difference. Spurs haven't got that, and I'm not going to go as in as Souls did, but I agree. We don't have that star quality. We don't have them star players. Spurs have always been, even when we were a mid-table team, we always had star players.
Simmons and Kudus are meant to be. Let's not go there. You man were raving about these 2 players.
I think Kudus is very good, but it's one-man team. You can't just have one player.
Can't rely on
there was one. I think it was about 20 minutes in where he picked up the ball and he run past about 4 players and then ended up just running back into himself because there was no one there. There's no one that's on his level.
He was the only guy in the game that I thought had a decent opportunity at least breaking lines. Like he looked good. But with that said, you're right. Like the thing that's killing like Spurs right now is that all these signings that have come through the door right now, the only one that really looks good is Kudus. Like I'm shocked that Xabi Simons hasn't come in and shown any real quality. Like every game he comes in, he's just invisible. So I'm excited about that. He is weak. He's weak on the ball.
Like you watch Eze play and you see the difference between ball protection, gliding past players. Like Xavi Simons might be more trickery, might be more technical than Eze. But to be honest, the physicality in the Premier League, it shows when these players, unless you are in Daei, for Everton, which is so technical and quick that Xavi Simons is not that guy. He needs space, he needs time. When he dribbled Declan Rice in the middle because he had space to look at Declan Rice and take 3-4 steps. While Eze, for example, that's the difference between the two players. Under pressure, receives the ball. He's a specimen. He's strong. Declan Rice is strong. This is the difference. And Xavi Simons, if I'm looking at him, I'm like, I don't think it's going to work for him in the Premier League unless a complete different style of play comes at Spurs that he's going to have space.
We have to have better players. We have to. His IQ on the ball is better than everyone at Spurs. That's the problem. He's not a player like Eze, for instance. You give the ball to Eze, he can beat 3 men and create something. That's the kind of character and the player that he is. Simmons is not that guy. Simmons is the guy that picks up the ball and plays a quick 1-2 and darts in and out. But you've got to have players that are on the same level as him. Like when he gets the ball, the player that he's kind of built up a decent understanding with is Odobert, but he's the only one. Kudos wants to hug the ball a bit too much. Maybe that's a bit of a confidence thing and him being able to give the ball to Simmons. But Simmons, it's almost for me, if you put better players around Simmons, you get a better version of Simmons. Like you don't give the ball to Simmons and hope he goes and beats 3 players because physically he's not there. But also, let's just be clear, Eze's got 6 years on him, something like that.
Yeah,
he's played in the Premier League. Like this.
I think it is a bit harsh. Eze, like you say, he's seasoned in the Prem, won the FA Cup at Palace. But I think the midfield is key because I was just looking at the lineup and I was actually shocked that Simmons didn't start the game. I know he had a decent international break for Holland, but I think Thomas Frank was probably worried about the physicality. Mo, I know you said you look at Simmons and he looks weak. And Bundesliga often gets criticised for being an easy league to play, and Sancho's thrived over there. Many players have, then they come to the Prem, Vert's example, and they don't look as good. But I think where Tottenham lost the midfield battle today is Palhinha. As good as Palhinha is, Tottenham's goal comes from him winning the ball off of Zubimendi. But you don't really... The reason Palhinha didn't work at Bayern Munich is because he can't play with the ball. In Vincent Kompany's system, it's all about passing. And I think whenever Tottenham did get the ball back, you didn't really do anything to harm Arsenal. And I think because we're so solid defensively, not just our back four, but our whole team is so solid in that defensive shape, you just couldn't actually break us down. And going into the game, I was never worried about Tottenham hurting us. None of your attacking players truly scare me. Kudus doesn't really scare me that much. Richarlison either. I just think in a game like this, I think Thomas Frank needs more time with this team to build it in his image. Because I know there's been a lot of talk after the game, is Thomas Frank the right man? I think football fans are fickle and they get a bit, I don't know, impatient.
I don't think he's the right man. I'm going to tell you what, Romario.
I think
Romario,
it's too soon, Mo.
It depends on the aim. Okay, Romario, it depends on the aim for Spurs. If the aim for you is to be like Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, is to win. If the last aim is to build a team with a manager to win the Premier League, I don't see Thomas Frank's style, the way he put. Number one, he's not young, Thomas Frank. Like he's not like an Arteta or a Maresca where he's gonna learn on the job. Thomas Frank has been managing for ages, right? He's not gonna learn. This is Thomas Frank's style. It's fluid, it's flexible. He defends here. If Spurs' aim is to win the title, I think Thomas Frank is not the right guy. If Spurs aim to make top 5 here and there and to be consistent within them, that's a David Moyes of Everton back in the days. Facts. In the 2000s.
But what I would say on that, and then we should ask the boys, what is the expectations of Tottenham fans? Because they won the Europa League and they were gassed, but I think Souls would agree, if Arsenal win the Europa League, we're just going to get bantered with, well, you haven't won the Champions League. So it's standards, right? It's levels. And that's not to be condescending to Tottenham fans, but what is it that you want? The times that you have been a good team that's challenged for the title or been Champions League, you had Gareth Bale under Harry Redknapp, and you had Harry Kane for 10 years, who's arguably your best ever player. But now that you haven't got a Gareth Bale, a Harry Kane, or a Heung-min Son, or even a Christian Eriksen, what is it realistically that Tottenham fans expect? Because for me, Thomas Frank's the sort of manager that could probably, I think he'll get you top 5 this season. I know after watching that, it's probably hard to believe. I think he can, because the league isn't that strong outside.
There's a lot of parity, but there's nothing to suggest that Spurs are going to get top 5
what he means is by time, he's going to build a team that is capable to be like in the top 5.
I'm just going to quickly say this. This is one thing about Spurs that I've noticed, and I think that the way they want to play, and correct me if I'm wrong, Spurs fans, I don't know you guys' name or anything, but correct me if I'm wrong. The way Spurs want to play is an attractive attacking style of football. And they're buying players that play that style, or maybe not the A level players like that, maybe like more of a B Tech level. And then they're bringing in a manager who's only really shown, like, I'm not talking about previous to Brentford. I know he's had more of an attacking style, but his ascendancy in the Premier League has been playing counter-attacking football that's a little bit more turgid. He needs players that play with energy, get after it. And the players that you're buying are guys that want to be on the ball, that want to be, 1-2s here and there, combinations and whatnot. And it just seems like as an incongruence from what the manager was, what the manager has shown he can do in the Premier League versus what Spurs want at the club. Does that make sense?
100,000,000%. Spurs fans are a strange breed, right? They expect attacking football regardless. Even if we know we're not the best team in a league, that's what the Spurs fans want. They might go 1 year and accept not having it, but that second year they best be attacking football. We will not accept anything less. That's just it's been put into us. It's been ingrained into the fan base. So what we keep doing, Mourinho, Conte, Nuno, Frank, we're hiring defensive managers. We're hiring successful in their remit. So Frank is very successful at his remit at Brentford. We're hiring successful in their remit defensive managers. And then the first thing they're all saying is, I'm going to go and do attacking. Well, I don't sign a centre-back to go and play up front. So why are you signing and getting defensive-minded managers and then trying to tell them that they have to play?
It's Thomas football? Frank defensive-minded though, and Bremer and Wissa both got 20 goals. I think.
Yeah, but it's not about what they can do on the ball. Like obviously those guys are good, in transition, get after it, 1v1, score goals. They're very good goal scorers, but their style of play was very much counter-attacking. It wasn't.
I'm gonna back the couch here, critic. Yeah. I went and checked every season Brentford have been in the Premier League. The average ball position is between 15 and 90 and 20, right? The 19 season. And every season has been 45%. So in the bottom 5. So that means the team set to release the ball quicker. They don't want the ball. They don't want the ball at their feet. Let's release it. Let's go direct. Even though West and Bobo, they can't build, they can't impose an authority, they can't dictate the game. They are a reactive team, Brentford. We're going to be reactive to you and then we're going to hurt you on the counter on transition. Top teams don't want that. There is no team that won the league. I don't think, apart from Leicester, and I didn't check the stats, that won the league ever was less than 50% ball position. I don't think I could go back 20, 30 years. It never happened. But there is no team that will win the league when the average position is less than 50%.
Even more so from that, right? It's about intent and it's about mentality. Okay, so just to give you an example, Arsenal had 3 attacking players on the pitch today. That's all they had on the pitch. Mourinho is not an attacking player; he's a central midfielder. They essentially had Eze, Trossard, and Saka, but they weren't playing with 8 defenders back or 7 defenders back. They were playing free. They were playing forward. Their mentality is to attack. We had how many attacking players, and we looked like we just wanted to sit back at all times.
But
so
this is
not about just about the players that are playing. It's not about you could put Xavi Simons in there. We could have gone and played 5 strikers today. If your intent is to sit back and not score a goal and just defend, then what are you actually doing?
Yeah, but Luke, this is what I think. So sorry, let me just land this quick. This is what I think I said Tottenham fans need to be patient, because you just listed a list of managers there. I think you had them in the last 6 seasons, and obviously you win the Europa League last season, but a lot of Tottenham fans would probably argue that Ange was the worst manager of them all, but he was the most attacking manager. And it led to some weird performances. I remember when you went down to 10 or 9 men against Chelsea and he had the team on the halfway line. It was the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen.
Box office.
Yeah, it was mental. But this is why I asked the question, what is it that Spurs fans want? I think under Thomas Frank, if you're patient, and I know fan pressure gets a lot and it's hard, but I honestly think if you guys are just patient with Thomas Frank and give him some time, you still got some big players injured. I think you just need to give him time to establish a system that works. And you said there that Arsenal only had 3 attacking players on, correct? But Yuri and Timber got an assist. Calafiori's running in and out of the box. You even got Zubimendi making runs in behind. Marino, he's in a bit of a weird, but the way we play, the whole team attacks because Arteta was given time. There was a moment in time when Arsenal fans wanted Arteta out because we lost like 5 games in a row, whatever it was. But if you're patient and you give him time to work a system, get his players in, I just think Tottenham are in a position where they need more patience and solidity rather than, oh, we don't like how he plays this football, let's get someone else in. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with that. I would say this too. So actually, go ahead, Chris. I don't want to jump in there.
Chris, go ahead, Chris.
No, that's fine. I've seen a lot of talk about being involved in Twitter and stuff. You see all the different Spurs fans and the community, and it seems like everyone seems to think that Frank is playing the way at Tottenham as if we are a 10th, 12th, 14th place team and we're playing that counter-attacking. Whether it's because of the squad that he's got, whether it's because of that's just the way he wants to play, or that's the way it's worked for him previously, what he thinks has worked, and that's how he wants to play it. But for me, it's when you sign Kudus, again, who is an attacking, he wants to take on a man, he's got that. He also needs to play. I mean, you look at our strike force. I mean, Richarlison's not a prolific striker. He's not going to be the one that's going to bag you 20 goals. Solanke probably arguably ain't going to bag you 20 goals either. So there's still a lot of positions in the Spurs squad that we need to go and get. And losing, as you mentioned, having Harry Kane up front before a game even starts, you go, call Harry Kane. He's going to score against us today. He had that fear factor. We don't have that fear factor in a minute. And Luke said it. Kudus can't be the only player that we always give the ball to. Same as Van der Ven. I think he's our top goal scorer in the league. He's your centre half. We can't just stick him up front and have him score our goals. You need to have that balance. But I just feel like, as I said, there's no the way that we play. The way that we set up today was very defensive, and it shouldn't be that way. We're not a 15th place team. We're not a mid-table team. We should be going against Arsenal. The biggest game of the season for us is against our arch rivals. We should be turning up and we should be playing attacking football, not counter-attacking, not 5 at the back, not sitting. We should be playing free-flow attacking and actually bring the game to you.
Can I just say this, Chris? I just thought, just quickly, Luke, I just want to say this, because I don't think that you guys are intended to play counter-attacking football. Like, every time you're playing out from the back in the first half, you just couldn't get out. Like, even if you wanted to play possession-based, you couldn't, because Arsenal's structure was so solid and you didn't have those outlets. But, you know, I don't even think you guys went long very often, to be honest. I just think you kept on turning over the ball and it was coming right back to you. Very similar to how you played against Chelsea, you know. Expected goals 0.07 or something like that. Expected goals versus Chelsea 0.05. You know, so I think this has more to do with the instruction of the manager versus the personnel on the pitch. Who's the progressor in that midfield? Who's going to progress the ball for you?
Yeah,
it's definitely not going to be Bentancur, and it's definitely not going to be Paulinho, right?
Yeah,
and neither of those guys are really shovelers. Sorry, go ahead.
Missing out on Gibbs White was a problem. I think they identified him. I think they identified him to be the person that would sit alongside Paulinho. Not in today's game, because let's be clear, Thomas Frank is not under pressure because of today's game. Thomas Frank is under pressure because what people have seen beforehand, and the points that we've picked up are probably not representative of the way that we've played. And he, in terms of what you're saying about playing attacking football, this isn't new. The Spurs fans, and most of them, are really annoyed at we're seeing Paulinho, Bentancur at home against teams that are 12th, 13th.
Yeah,
14th.
that's negative.
That's the problem. So, and this goes back to, and again, it wasn't a dig to say you only had 3 attacking players on the pitch and you were defensive.
Yeah.
What I was saying is you don't need to have 5 attackers to be good in attack. You were superb in attack and had 3. So it's about the intent that you have. Exactly what you just said. You have wing backs, you have full backs, you have people coming in field. You've got people swapping position. At times I couldn't work out whether Eze was the forward man or whether Marino was, because they were just interchanging so often. So there's a plan there, right? And I understand that you have to have time and everything else. I just said from the very start, he's never been in a situation, Frank, where he's got to go in big games, go dominate teams. Like, for instance, Chelsea is the prime example. Everyone kept telling me that he's got a record against Chelsea was unbelievable. And I was like, okay, watch when he comes to Spurs. It won't be. First game, it was dreadful. And I'm glad everybody's mentioned it as well. The midfield, right? When we played Chelsea and we was absolutely horrendous, very similar to today, the midfield was the clearest example. They were absolute levels. Moses Caicedo absolutely dominated. They didn't even need anyone else. They just had him, and he absolutely dominated us. And it's the same thing today.
Luke,
And
that's
midfield's not good enough.
I feel a bit sorry for Thomas Frank because I just don't think you got the personnel. I was just looking at who you had injured, and Maddison, obviously, Kulusevski. You imagine how different you look if you had Kulusevski in this team.
I love this conversation, football conversation. It's ridiculous. It happens we finally discovered it happens on YouTube, Romario.
We can do it, bro. We can do it.
Oh my God, it's so refreshing.
Well, I weren't going to come on and talk about how great Spurs were, was I? Obviously going to have to break it down.
I felt too bad to go in on top of him. I feel sorry for them.
40 minutes in, apart from Sol's monologue, which was like banter and gloating and
that
stuff,
was beautiful from Sols.
It's
the league
great
is over 13 games in.
To be honest with you, like 30 minutes, we have actually spoken about just the football. Just the football, and it's so refreshing, to be honest with you. It's just, go ahead, Romario. I'm just sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. And I'm loving the football chat as well. But I just look, because Couch, you make a good point. I know what you're saying about, and Mo, you said if Tottenham want to challenge for trophies and whatever, then is Thomas Frank the man. I'm just like, and I hate to do this. Obviously, I'm a gooner. Like, this could seem a bit patronizing. But when have Tottenham ever been expected to win the league? Like, and I don't know.
Romario, when I say this, I'm the one who invented what's the point of Spurs, right? Like, I'm the one who started this over a year ago. And then it got picked up. My point about this is that the point of a football club for the media, for the big masses, with all the respect, listen, the first game I went to the Premier League was Everton at Goodison Park, right? And I enjoyed that. I loved it. I actually spoke to the locals. They were fantastic. I had great, like me and my wife, right? But from the media perspective, you have to be a relevant club to the league or the Champions League. Or you reach a Europa League final like Spurs and Man United did, which was a talking point for that 2-3 weeks leading up to the final. My problem with Spurs is that even though they challenged for the title, I can sit here and say, yeah, that was the Spurs time. They had this magnificent team that kind of dominated. Yet people support them here in America, for example. Some people in Egypt, because they liked Harry Kane, they liked Dembele, Dele Alli, and all these people, and Young Min's son.
Hossam Ghali, Mido, come on.
Hossam Ghali, what a player.
As well, like Mido and Hossam Ghali were like big part of that as well. Mido especially, yes, Mido as well. But the relevancy doesn't come from you challenging for top 5 every season. It's for you. We sit here and say, I think this team will go challenge Arsenal or Liverpool for the title. Like that, like the two center, Vertonghen and Alderweireld. Some of the best parts, Danny Rose, like Kyle Walker left, and these guys leave, and then new fullbacks come in, Kieran Trippier. Spurs have lost that relevancy in the league, to be honest with you. They just lost. But for me, they are similar to, with all due to Brighton. And that's no disrespect.
Oh, come on.
You get my point. In the last years, after Pochettino, we talk about Spurs, like there is no point of saying, like we banter Chelsea, for example, or even Inter and Milan and Juventus and Serie A or something. I don't see the point of this. Like, apart from Jimmy O'Hara, I'm being bantered every day on TalkSport. You know what I mean? And that should have changed with the new ownership, right? And Daniel Levy left. That is the target.
Yeah, this is the first step of that.
You got to give him time.
I think the problem is the expectation changes when you build that new stadium.
Yeah.
And you have to entertain people now. Like, that's where the expectation changes amongst supporters and even playing staff alike. Like, that big stadium, that £1 billion stadium, whatever it is.
Fantastic.
You need to have people that go in there and entertain now, right? Like, you can't just have that place be, a freaking, I don't even know what you call it, a funeral home, when you got like this incredible asset that is the stadium, right? So you got to put people in that team that can attract, because this is an opportunity. It's not just about like in North London. This is an opportunity to go global now. You have this stadium. If you can attract the right players there, you're now appealing to people, worldwide, right? Because it is an attraction. But they just haven't gotten the balance right. Again, they haven't really matched what you want to see on the pitch, like attacking brand of football, player staff that is exciting to see, with a manager that can all make it stitch together. And yeah, maybe it takes time. Like we saw Arsenal. Arsenal were doing the same thing, throwing money in it, throwing money at it, seeing if it sticks. And, you know, it seems like now they're in a position now, 6, 7, 8 years later, where they might be able to, you know, put together a sustained title run. I'm a Chelsea supporter, so, you know, I'm not really about this time and patience thing. I haven't really. I was breastfed on Roman, man. Roman told me, "Nah, man, if it ain't working, get rid of him." You know?
Proper Chelsea fan. I
have no choice right now but to be patient with this team because they're buying 18 and 19-year-olds. You know,
don't like that.
You feel me?
The thing with Spurs is that, like, even so, for instance, talk about a new stadium. Obviously, we came out of the old one, went into Wembley for a few years. We came out of the old one, and that season, unbeaten at home. Nobody was turning up at Spurs and not most of the time getting beat, no matter who you was, or at least turning up going, this is going to be a struggle. And then it's just Spurs that we then move out of the stadium and go to Wembley in the year where we're kind of at our prime, what Mo was saying. We come out of it because then we go to a home where it's not our home. The fans have not got that love for the stadium, and then you start losing a player here, Kyle Walker, maybe Rose go, and all of a sudden you're like, well, what's going on? This is the problem, and you're exactly right. We are in a state of transition. When we lost Poch, the ownership went, right, we've been here 20 years. We've tried it that way. It didn't work. They went completely against everything that there was from what Poch had built, and went Mourinho, went Conte, they just tried the complete opposite. It was like, we've run out of ideas now. Let's just try something different. And now we're in a state where we go, actually, we've built a team that is not capable of playing the football that we want. It's probably suited to play five at the back instead of 4. We're bringing in managers that play different styles. We're flipping and we're flopping. And I always said, we need to get the idea from the top first. What do you want? Work out what you want, and then we can work out after thatwards. And I've been saying the same thing about Frank. Spurs fans actually think that between 5th and 8th is going to be progress this season. No one's talking about getting Champions League, and if we do, a lot of fans are actually saying the Champions League this year is probably a step too far already. We probably would have been better off having like Europa League football, just purely on the basis that he needs to get used to it. I've been gone on shows previously and said Frank's never played twice a week, and a load of fans have been going to me, yes, he has. He's played in the Championship. Okay. Brilliant. What's that got to do with Champions League and Premier League football? That's completely different things. So these are all things that he needs to learn, and he needs to learn very quickly. The one thing that I don't think he's quite learned is the expectation of being at a perceived bigger club. We expect to have the ball more. We expect to dominate more. And he's still in that Brentford mindset. And as I said, going back to the whole mentality, whatever players you mentioned it earlier, Romero, about, what about Maddison? What about Kulusevski? It don't matter if you got Kulusevski playing right wing back.
I was going to say that. Luke,
makes no difference.
I want to move on, but I want to say something about Spurs. If you look at Spurs players, none of them is short of a top 4. Romero, international. Van de Ven, Jed Spence, and Udogi. Bentancur is a Uruguayan. Like I said that before, right? Apart from Richarlison, but even Koulibaly is a World Cup finalist, is a French international that is but he's not like mid-table team. Like the guy is coming from a Paris Saint-Germain event. Xavi Simons was a superstar in Germany, or you can say not a Wirtz, but the upcoming star. Kudus, everyone wanted Kudus, right? Here is a problem, which is it's the mentality. When you hire a Thomas Frank for these people, you are telling them our target is to get top 5. This is our limit. This is what we want from you guys as a team.
I agree.
This is it. I want you guys to imagine this team, and I know it's far. I want you to imagine this team with a Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, a Mikel Arteta today, a Xabi Alonso. You know what I mean? A Luis Enrique. Once you imagine the team with one of the top managers, and you think, yeah, this team will still be mid-table. Now it's a mid-table club. Now, Spurs don't have a squad of a mid-table team. They don't. Bergwijn is an upcoming young. Archie Gray is an upcoming young player. Pedro Porro is a Spanish international. Vicario is the second goalkeeper of Italy behind supposedly one of the best goalkeepers. It's all about the manager. Because the manager embeds that mentality. Are we here? Inter the same. We hired the Christian Kivo, someone who had 18 games in Syria as a senior coach. It's telling the players, you know what? We are just building something. This is a transition. It's okay to sit at home against anybody. It's fine. It's fine. But if you ask top teams, you would never see a top team saying that it's okay to sit deep against the Fulham and get a result. That's not acceptable. That's not how you win leagues and Champions Leagues. You go out there, you dominate games. And Spurs hiring Thomas Frank sent a message. We are here for the ride.
But also, when we hired Ange, that first summer we lost Kane. So we obviously had to replace him. Maddison came in, Van der Ven came in, Vicario came in. We had a big summer, right? The next 3 transfer windows, all we signed to improve the 11, because all the rest were coming in as squad players or young players, was Dominic Solanke. So for the next 3 transfer windows, we've done absolutely nothing. So again, it comes from the top. What do you actually want to be? Like if we say, for instance, Savinho was the big one that we sort of just lost out on. You go and sign Savinho and people start going, maybe they actually
But
do.
then you hire Thomas Frank.
And this is why I said from the very start, I love Thomas Frank. I think he's unbelievable. I think he's brilliant for the Premier League. However, when Burnley were very good and Sean Dyche was doing an incredible job at Burnley, none of the top 4 went, let's go and sign him as manager, because the remit's different. It's like if you want to get,
harsh on Frank, in it. He done a bit better than Dyche.
I'm not. But what I'm saying is that's that. If you go and if you look at all of the top teams, they don't go to, most of them don't go to Wolves and sign their best player. They don't go to Brentford and sign their best player because they're looking above that. They're looking better than that. They're a level above that, and that's what we've done. We've gone and signed someone who has never been a manager that wants to go and dictate games and dominate games, and he's not done that. But we were asking him to do that. It's almost like it doesn't make any sense.
Let me do these 2 super chats because we haven't even spoken about Arsenal yet. The last time that Spurs were this bad was the chance they had at beating Man City for a Champions League spot, but it wouldn't have helped Arsenal. So instead, they bent over. That was last season, 2 seasons ago. Maybe. I don't think that they were that bad against Man City, actually, in that game. Actually, they were better than this. Glenn Hoddle and Wright spoke to Eze. Hoddle said to him, "You're a beautiful player."
Hoddle knows football, mate. Hoddle's one of the best football players
for
to ever
Arsenal,
play the game.
a champions elect. You guys champions elect. Because, by the way, the reason why I'm saying that, because Dennis and Ashraf had a very long discussion on our group chat about Ashraf saying that if Arsenal beat Chelsea, they won the league. Do you guys think that like this is it?
I think it's a game in the right direction for sure, because going to Stamford Bridge and beating them definitely kind of gives us that little bit more of an edge, especially when you look at the point difference already. Like, what is it now? From second with 6 points clear, 7 points clear. At that point, we could even clear further. And that's another big 6 game out of the way. We've already played Liverpool, City, United, now Spurs, Chelsea. So we're already kind of knocking these games out early in the season. Obviously, I'm not saying that the lower oppositions are any easier, or they can also kind of throw a spanner in the works. But going to Stamford Bridge is a statement win. Like, going there, even if we beat them 1-0, even if we struggle, get a jammy goal, beating them is the key. Because in the last sort of 4 seasons, we've gone there and we've drawn. So we just need to turn these corners. We need to get these results, and I do think that's a step in the right direction. I'm not going to sit there and go, we've won the league just because we beat Chelsea, but we've definitely kind of edged ourselves into kind of a different conversation of what can Arsenal do to fuck this up? Because I think that's the conversation. I don't think it's about can Man City catch them. I don't think it's a conversation.
I like how you said that.
Like it genuinely, like, if we beat Chelsea, it is how do we fuck this up? How can we screw it up? Because that's the only thing that can happen. It's not City catching Arsenal anymore. It's not Liverpool it's who do we allow back into the title race?
Can I just quickly ring in here? Because like the sleeping giant here is still City. Like, I don't understand why. Because if you guys beat us next week, which obviously that would be a statement when you come to Stamford Bridge, you get a win. That's a big win. I don't think that holds any weight in who's going to win the title in game week 13.
Can I say why?
The reason why is because I don't think if you win and then Man City win, they're still equal, same points as they are this week. So what's the difference between this week and next week?
Because it's another result we've turned in our favor. So we don't go there and win. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've not been to Stamford Bridge in a few seasons now and gone there and won. So
I don't think that's the litmus test.
I understand. I get what you're saying, but the reason why I say it is because we've already knocked out a lot of the big 6 oppositions already.
Yeah, but we're 13 games in though, and if I know this Premier League well, like I think I do, It's not the top 6 that wins you the league. It's what you do against the rest, right? And every game produces a completely different challenge, which is why I always hold my talk until you get through the Christmas period.
Couch,
Once
I
you
think
get to the Christmas period, that's when you can start saying, okay, wow, these guys went through the table. They did this, boom, 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 boom. Game week 13, I'm only just starting to pay attention to the table right now. And you guys have what is it? 6 points on Chelsea.
Yeah,
must be 7 or 8 points on Man City.
But it's also
he's
that's not insurmountable by no means.
Okay, so if
so many
Chelsea win
games.
next game, you are going to play Chelsea at home. Logically speaking, Chelsea should win that game. Logically speaking, okay, I'm not ruling out Arsenal win or a draw.
Yeah.
But logically speaking, Arsenal going to Man City, I'm expecting a Man City win. Man City coming to Arsenal, I'm expecting Arsenal win because it's at home. The big teams, I always do that. You can get a result here and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is 3 points. It's that, and then if City win, the lead is back to 4 points. If City win, I think they play Leeds at home or something like this.
Yeah, Leeds at home.
So that can happen. And then is the tone gonna change then if Chelsea are 3 points and Man City are only 4 points, while Arsenal still have to go away to the Etihad at some point later in the season, for example? You know what I mean? So
yeah, Couch, I think Mo's hit the nail on the head there. I think it's about breeding confidence and like beating Tottenham. If you beat Tottenham 1-0 and you scrape it with a lucky goal, then you're not free. But the fact Eze gets a hat trick, it's just giving the whole club a lift. It's against the team that he rejected in the summer. If you go away to Chelsea, which Chelsea are a very good team, you're only 6 points behind us. If you beat them and we beat them convincingly, well, to be honest, it don't matter how we beat them. If we leave there with 3 points, the club, you just breathe a little bit. Whereas if we draw, lose, and City win, then they're closing in. Then you're looking over your shoulder again. Just before the international break, when we drew to Sunderland and City beat Liverpool, I was crapping myself. I was thinking, here we go, Haaland and Pepper on the march. But if you keep them away from you, 7 points it's not uncatchable. You're right. 7 points isn't, but then is 11 points not uncatchable? Liverpool are 11 points off us. City caught Man United all them years back when Aguero scored that goal and they were like 10 points behind. So it is doable, but I think the other reason Souls is so confident, and you're saying why are we even looking at the league table? It's because we finished second 3 years in a row, and finishing second 3 years in a row just does something to you where it's like you can't help but look at that league table and just think, come on, this has got to be our year. This has got to be our year.
Can I tell you what is uncatchable?
I don't doubt
I want to ask do you know what is uncatchable? The Arsenal are the most consistent and the best team in the league.
Yeah, that's my point.
That is what
that's
is uncatchable.
Yeah.
Like if City and Chelsea are kind of the same level and we're seeing consistency from them, but Arsenal have gained ground, we can say, yeah, there is evidence. Maybe Chelsea and City can catch Arsenal. But Arsenal, in my opinion, this season, 12 games in, are levels above everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
I wouldn't say it's levels.
Levels.
Couch, I think Couch. See,
they're more consistent. I think they're more consistent. They're more
and that is part of being levels above everyone. It's part of being a level above everyone else.
Yeah, but I think those levels. No, but Luke, sorry, let me just land it because Arsenal, and it's sort of like Mikel Arteta as well. He doesn't get his flowers, and Sol said it earlier, because he hasn't got us over the line. And until he gets us over the line, no one's going to really respect him. But Arsenal fans, we know how good he is. The reason we signed the likes of Zubimendi, Eze, Gyökeres, the reason we're signing these players, Declan Rice, is because of the manager. It's not necessarily because of the club, because there's been periods where Arsene Wenger was at the club and Chelsea were getting players over us, Man City were, Liverpool were. So it's not as if it's the club, it's the manager. And Mikel Arteta is one of those managers where Declan Rice said it in the build-up. He said he will be honoured to say he played under Mikel Arteta one day. He's convinced Mikel Arteta will win it all. Like I just said, until he does it, it doesn't really mean anything. But for me, Mikel Arteta, with this squad, this quality that we have, we still got 5 injuries to key attacking players. Gyökeres, Martinelli's only just come back. Madueke's just come back. Jesus is out. Havertz is out. So there's still talent to come back. Like Sol said, it's only Arsenal who can fuck this up. It's just a question of how, like, it's in our hands. We just have to do it now. And yeah, it is only 13 games in, but if you take away from the last 3 seasons, Arsenal are very consistent. We are very consistent. You can act as if we're not. You can say we're not, but the facts are we're consistent. Unfortunately, it's been consistently second, but I'm very confident this season.
But it's
We've got
completely
no
different
excuse
this
but
season.
to win it.
Yeah, it's completely different this season because we've spoken about some of the key reasons. Whether people want to use it as an excuse or whether people are going to actually just take it as analysis, we've known why we've messed up the league. We've known why we haven't got it over the line. We've spoken about it. People can say, "Oh, the Saliba injury is an excuse." That's fine. I'm not here to argue semantics, but we've addressed everything. And this is probably the most complete we've seen our team. Now, people can disagree with that, but the reality of the matter is Gabriel's out. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even give a shit. I was like, yeah, cool.
Same.
Who's
Same.
next in line?
Wasn't
Your went
worried.
out. I was like, yeah, who's next in line? Havertz is out. Who's next in line? And that's all I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, Odegaard, our captain's out. Yeah, cool. Okay, who's next? I'm not, even if Ethan has to come in. Yeah, all right, cool. I'm still not afraid. Whereas previously I have been. I'll be real about it. Like if Bukayo Saka gets injured, I'm like, oh shit, okay, here we go again. Now
it's a Reece Nelson or Fabio Vieira coming in.
If you spoke to me 2 seasons ago and you said Gabriel's injured with the form he's in, I would have been shitting myself. Even against Spurs at home, I would have been like, yeah, this just got tricky. But now I'm like, yo, Hincampi, step up, man. Mosquera, you step up. Calafiori, if it's you, you step up.
Yeah, I don't doubt that you guys have a deep squad, and it's one that is built to win it all. No doubt about it. I question the mettle within the squad. I question if you guys have winners within that squad, because we know you don't have it in the manager.
That's not been the
issue.
Just
let me finish. I'll let you go on your diatribe for a minute now. I think that's a big thing. Like you have to have characters within the dressing room that have won it before. So for me, it's not so much about like what you bought. We did this, we did that. It's about, do you have the mentality of a champion? That needs to be proven. That needs to be proven.
That's not really the issue, though. It's not really a mentality thing. We've known that the quality drop.
It's not a mentality thing. Bottling it 3 years in a row.
We didn't bottle it 3 years. Last year we didn't bottle it. We weren't even in it. So
even worse, considering what you guys were before.
Yeah, we know that. We've admitted to that. We were shit.
Okay, maybe you have a different take than others, but from what I see,
even the City one where we took it to the last day, that's not a bottle.
Okay.
How do you bottle it when you're
you didn't bottle it. You're right. You didn't bottle it.
This
win it though, right?
Even if you want to call it a bottle,
you didn't win it though.
One sec. When
wait. That means anyone who finishes second bottled it.
When Leicester won the league, Spurs were never top of the table in that whole season. But yeah,
all
I hear about is Spurs.
No, you lot definitely let that go, man.
The mentality part.
You did it. Leicester were top of the league all season.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So the facts are is that
Tottenham lost a few games in that running that they could have won.
And Leicester did as well, lose to Arsenal, the 3-2, the Wilbeck header.
That's what I'm saying. I think we could let that league go, but anyway, that's irrelevant.
Sometimes it's about circumstances, right? It's about where you are. Look, Manchester City, for instance, they were the best team in the world for a 2-3 year period, but just couldn't get over the Champions League line. It was just a mentality thing. There was just something that weren't quite ticking, and it might be that same thing for Arsenal. I don't think it's necessarily about what Arsenal do in this title race. I generally don't. I think if Arsenal just keep plodding along, they'll win the league, and I think your best hope is that you win the league similar to Liverpool, where you win it so early that there's just no pressure. If City go on a decent run and put pressure on, that's when you can have the best squad. You can have all of these injuries. That's when
Solskjaer's waiting. He's like, no, wait, don't say that.
It's like saying,
you guys are rattled already, man. Whoa.
It's like with Thomas Frank. We can't say that Thomas Frank can get you top 5. We can't say Thomas Frank can win you trophies because he's never done it. So right now, you can't say with great conviction unless you run away with it and there's no pressure.
I'm only pushing back.
You don't know that. You hope
this season, we've shown the opposite of what we do a lot. This weekend, if this is any other season we lose or we draw or we do something to make it difficult, this is the first time where we're actually rising to the occasion anytime our opposition or our title rivals drop points. We've actually taken more advantage of Liverpool losing a game, City losing games. Whether you want to put Chelsea into the bracket as well, when they've dropped points, we've actually taken advantage. Don't forget, we've already swung a 5-point deficit on Liverpool already. So,
but that's what I'm saying. I think it's about what other teams do.
I think that's where no. But it's also what Arsenal do, because you have to win. You still have to focus on what you're doing, and what you're prodding along is still focused on what Arsenal do. But the reason why I say it is because we have been able to now take advantage. Whereas with previous seasons, you're going into it, they're like, "Oh, the pressure's on," and then we draw, or we do something stupid. But this season, we've done that less. I know Sunderland's going to be a prime example that people are going to bring up, but that's an anomaly to what we've actually done throughout the season. And that's another reason why I'm a bit more confident, even if it is 13 games.
What's funny?
We're turning that corner.
You know what's funny about whatever you think? Because everyone but me, I guess, pipped Liverpool for the title this year without having seen them kick a ball, right? So everyone had them for the title. Am I wrong? After right? Okay. They fell way off, right? They're drifting. They're outside of the top four. I don't even know where they are anymore. Okay.
11th.
You guys have never had to hold the weight and expectation of a champion. Like, say, this is ours to win. Here we go. You've never had to really hold that. So I need to see. That's why when I'm talking about like championship medal and pedigree and whatnot. This is the period that I need to see that step up. I need to see you guys do that. Just let me finish. I need to see you guys do that.
You're going to say the same thing in March if they're top of the table by 6 points.
You see what I'm saying? That's a different story.
You're going to say the same. You're going to say, I want to see that you carrying over the line. You're going to keep saying it until they actually win.
Until they do it. Yeah, absolutely. Because there's no proof to say.
So this analysis
I've seen Pep Guardiola run down teams. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it.
But your analysis now have nothing to do with how good they are this season. You are building all this
I'm building
analysis
it based on what they have in their squad.
Based on what happened over the last 3 years.
No, I'm building it based on what they have in their squad. So, I know I've seen Manchester City run down teams. I've seen Liverpool do it. I've seen Chelsea do it.
That means you don't trust this Arsenal. Okay, you're building it based on what happened over the last 3 years. Am I wrong?
I'm building it for the last 20 years. Like they've never had to do it.
Okay, it doesn't matter. 3 years or 20 years.
Okay.
That means today you look at this Arsenal squad and you still don't trust him. You're like, nope, I don't. I am a little bit hesitant to back in you to say you're the best team that I see this carrying over the line.
That is a fact.
You are exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're analyzing them from the lens of the history, not the present.
I'm analyzing on the lens of nothing's been proven right now. Even on the run that they're on right now.
That's the history. That is the history.
This is it. This is it. I want to pinpoint to that point.
The Spurs game is history.
Okay, but you don't think that the team that you're seeing today from Arsenal is different than the teams you have seen over the last 3-4 years?
What do you mean by different though? Like what?
I can explain.
They have
what
different players.
Is. I'm gonna see now. Now we're getting to the core of this conversation. We're getting there.
Couch is a troll, man. He's trolling.
I'm being real about it.
I'm going to tell you, there is nobody here on this panel that can troll. There's nobody that is actually their main target is trolling. It's a very interesting conversation. Okay, I don't think he's bantering. I don't think he's trolling. He really means what he says because he says that in group chats. Is not in front of the cameras.
Okay,
right? I know that. Here is the thing. This team, Couch, would have lost to Newcastle or drawn to Newcastle, would not have won at Man United.
Why?
Would not have won against because of the mentality, the fragility that you have seen over the last 3-4 years.
Like they're only now stepping into that role of being that team that has to win. Like they're always like the underdog before. Everyone before Liverpool fell off was saying Liverpool is the champions elect.
Yeah, but
they're now the favorites now. They're now everyone's looking at them as the favorites to win it now. So it's a different level of expectation.
Because they just destroyed Spurs without a striker on that.
They look fantastic, but I don't really rate the Spurs either.
You said we bottled 3 leagues in a row. So how can we bottle it if we were never expected to win?
Okay, there you go. There you go. You bottled it because you came close to winning it and then you lost it, right?
Yeah, but didn't Liverpool not win a league against City by like they had 98 points, City had 99 twice, and then they won the league.
Twice.
And that was with a Mo Salah that hadn't won a major league before joining Liverpool. So was he not a winner before he joined Liverpool? Like you can become a winner.
You can become a winner.
You don't have to go into a club as a winner. Like Mikel.
I'm just saying this. I think
you do this quite a lot.
When you look at the beginning of the season. You had Liverpool number 1, Arsenal or Manchester City or whoever else 2 or 3, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
Liverpool have now shown that they're not going to be the title champions. So they fall down, and then it's now the 2 and 3 now, right?
I want to let Luke speak, but what's happening to Liverpool today is an anomaly that no one expected. They strengthened him from a position of winning the league to lose 6 out of 7. That is a relegation form. That even if we assume that Liverpool are not going to be good, we would never have assumed that they're going to lose 6 out of 7, that they're going to get smashed at home. They haven't lost 3-0 at home other than once in their life or something like this. Like this has happened twice. It's just an anomaly. Luke, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can't remember what it was around. I think it was Tottenham, and you said about if you just completely swapped clubs and you put Manchester City as the Arsenal team right now and Arsenal as the Manchester City team, I think everyone would be saying, because of the history, because of the way they've done it, because they've experienced it, because the manager's been there and done it, Man City are now going to win the league. If they were
I said that plenty of times about Man United, about Spurs, about Arsenal, about Chelsea, about plenty of things. Yes.
But now
I've been watching footy judge more, so you know exactly. I used this example about 3-4 times.
Right.
Big up.
What I'm saying is with Arsenal is the only thing that we don't know is whether they can just take that next step. Can they be favourites? Can they take that next step and go on and win? That's the only thing. Nobody said the Arsenal squad's not deep enough to win it. No one said that anything like that. It's just on the basis when things get tough, football, weird things happen. And and also it's different when you're chasing someone down. The expectation, and you've got that game week in where you win the game, then they've got to win, then they've got. Whereas with Arsenal, it's almost a case of you need to just look after yourselves. The pressure's all on you. And you're right. From what we've seen in this very small 12-game period, it does look like they're changing. However, only 3 or 4 weeks ago were Liverpool top and everyone was going, as soon as they click, they're just going to kick on and go away and no one's going to be. So weird things can happen. Now, Arsenal, to me, look like they're more stronger than that. They look like, again, they're a well-oiled machine. You take one out, you bring one in. So to me, the signs are all there. The only question mark is when it comes to them big decisive moments towards the end of the season, have they got it in them? And there's nothing saying they can't. I'm not saying they haven't. But we haven't seen that yet. So we need to see that.
Do you know what can
we get Souls haven't spoken for 20 minutes?
Come on, you Spurs!
Mate, mate.
Can we get Souls? Souls haven't spoken for 20 minutes.
What? 20 minutes? Come on now.
No, what I was going to say is like basically the reason why I think it's a moot point, because we're never going to be able to agree or disagree on it until we get to the end of the season and let's say we bottled it or we won it. That's when we know who's right. Well, it's not even about who's right and wrong, but the reality is the way that I want to try and break it down is more about what are we doing right and what things did we rectify, whether that's a window, whether that's, right now what we're seeing. Like, Mo made the point of at Old Trafford, we don't typically win, but we have won this season. We don't, typically go to St. James's Park and win there. We haven't done for a very, very long time. Even a Carabao Cup, they absolutely battered us and we've gone there and we got a result. And that's kind of where I'm looking at different things like that. Even if you look at trend analysis of Liverpool or whoever our closest title rivals were at that time, dropping points, what do we do when we play after that? When the pressure's on us, we do typically either drop points or lose. It's rare that we'd ever win those games or get 3 points at least. But whereas with this season, if you look at it, that trajectory's also changed. So even though like the pressure's been on Arsenal, like Liverpool being 5 points clear, they beat us when we went to the Anfield. The narrative and the pressure was on Arsenal because we didn't actually look good at the beginning of the season. And I'd actually still say we haven't really looked great, but we've looked good enough, right? We've done what we needed to do. So that's the reason. And we've had injuries. We've had our, I'm not going to say crisis, but we've had our adversities as well. But because of how well we've covered in the windows, it's not looked as bad. Like, for example, we've had Saka injured. Odegaard's been injured. We've had Madueke's been out. Gyökeres is now out. Gabriel's now injured. But we don't look worried. The reason for that is because of the preparation we've done. And that's the reason why I'm saying, like, the mentality argument, no one's right or wrong at this very moment. Yes, we can look at the past and go, okay, yeah, you make a valid point, I make a valid point, whatever. But we're never going to know truthfully until the end of the season whether we win something or we don't. And that's just...
No, of course not. And City might go and win every single game until the end of the season and get crowned champions. But you'll be called bottle jobs. That's just the way football works. It's unfortunately one of those things. But until you get over the line... Does anybody here
see City winning every game until the end of the season? Today is November 23rd, right? Right? Does anybody here think that we see this Arsenal team collapse and City team go on? I want, if you say yes, I want an explanation why you say that. If you say no, we'll just move on from it.
No, not for me.
Nobody thinks that City are going to win every game. Nobody.
I don't think they
So
have
it
to.
is.
Though. I just think it's a silly. Like they don't have to win every game to get back into this. You know what I
They
mean?
don't.
Like you
They're only
assume
7
you
points-
assume
they're
that
7
what
points off.
is Arsenal's winning percentage right now? They're at like what? It's well over 80%.
My
Right?
okay.
One
I
thing-
can revamp that question a little bit. Do you see, based on the signs we have seen over the last how many? The league has started
Well,
3
third
months
now.
ago, right?
Yeah,
3
about a
months
third
ago,
in.
right? 3 months
Mhm.
exactly, right? Like about in these 3 months, does anybody look at the signs and what Arsenal are now and what City are and Chelsea and think that, yeah, I actually think that Arsenal will lose. There is a possibility Arsenal lose the league to these people.
Yeah.
There's a possibility. Absolutely, I think there is.
It's
Yeah,
always the
possibility.
possibility. But would you think it's a big possibility? Because I don't see it. Like I see the like I think Arsenal will have 3 strikers back, guys.
Okay,
and
so
a
you're saying that
playmaker
Arsenal are champions
and a
right now.
winger.
In your head, Arsenal are champions right now. Yeah.
For me,
favorites, yeah.
if someone asked me tomorrow to put percentages, tomorrow I'm gonna say 70% Arsenal are winning the title.
Okay.
That's my. If you ask me, is that 30% like completely out of the realms of possibility? No. Listen, there are things that can happen. Arsenal can get injured to Saliba and Gabriel might not come back, and now we're gonna see Mosquera and Gabriel. For example, Raya can get injured, but also if we're gonna have the injury thing, Haaland can get injured as well. Like, but in terms of like everyone coming back to Arsenal and everyone coming back to City, I still think that Arsenal win it. Like today's game showed me how Arsenal scored 4 goals from open play, so that set piece gimmick is finished now. I don't think Sunderland 2 goals, today 2 goals, no set pieces, right? 6 consecutive goals from open play, creating chances in very tight spaces through balls between the legs and Sunderland and all this stuff. And very solid defensively. Actually, the goal that Spurs scored is just a mistake that I don't think you see every day on football matches. So I think 70% Arsenal will win the league. If you ask me tomorrow, I'm gonna put money on it. I don't bet. If you ask me to put 100, I'm gonna put it on Arsenal winning the league. 100%.
I also don't think that Arsenal are going to come up against a team like Spurs played today. Even if they play the teams in the bottom, sort of from 13th down to 20th, I think them teams are still going to give you a game. They're still going to come out and show more fight, and they're going to actually bring a game to you. And that's where I think Sunday was a good opportunity for them. They didn't just bow down to Arsenal. They actually had a game with them, and they got a result out of it. And I think that's where if Arsenal lose against Chelsea next game, they might go into the next game, and then again, if I don't know who they've got after Chelsea, but it could end up being that losing to Chelsea.
You got Brentford at home and then Villa away.
Brentford at home, not a completely. I don't think you'll walk it. I mean, Arsenal now should. You look at the Arsenal way that they're playing, they should win the majority of their games. As hard as it is for a Spurs fan to say that, it's quite hard to write Arsenal off because of the way that they're playing. But I don't think Brentford are going to give them as easy game as Spurs did today. I feel like Spurs just didn't have. When you look at previous North London derbies, there's always been a passion in the game. We've always been there to fight. Even if we have lost, we've come away from the majority of them going, well, at least we give them a game. At least we showed up. But today, I don't think that was there.
I think you tried to show up, Chris. I think
and
you just didn't
you know what
allow
I didn't
you to show
understand?
up.
Why was it like, if correct me if I'm wrong, like I don't watch a lot of Spurs, honestly, but Pop Sarr is probably like your most energetic midfielder, right? Like if you need energy in the midfield, he's the guy that you should be looking to, right?
In the game against PSG, in the Super Cup final, that's what Pap Sarr done, and that's where we gave them a lot of hassle. Was when Pap Sarr was there to nick the ball and then push us and then go with it and drive with it. I don't understand how Sarr's from that first performance, why he's dropped out of the starting 11, and I think it's probably the same as most Spurs
Thomas
fans.
Frank, Chris wanted the point.
And most Spurs fans are looking at the centre midfield partnership, especially at home, and going, "Why are we playing these two at home against teams that we shouldn't be thinking about counter attacking and playing a bit more defensively? We should be going, let's try and push on it. Let's get another body forward because we've got a solid enough back four, I would say, for Spurs. Obviously, again today we haven't shown it, but I think a lot of Spurs games this season, there's been a couple. I think at the start of the season we done all right, and then There's a couple of draws that we had where we actually showed grit and determination to get a point. And I thought, this is good. We're not just going to go 1-0, 2-0 down and then just sort of just fade out. We're going to actually come back and fight. And in the last few games, the Bournemouth game was sort of the turning point for me. And I was like, what happened there? There was just no fight. And then we've seen it a lot more, I think, in recent games. The lack of just wanting to go, especially at home as well. Most Spurs fans at home must not enjoy it at the minute, because the atmosphere before the game has been brilliant, and then you watch us at home and we've not been good. Your home form should be solid. You should be going into every home game thinking we're going to get a result here. And
because he doesn't play his style, Chris. Because he doesn't play his style.
But also, it goes back to the mentality thing that I was talking about earlier. Spurs, in terms of this calendar year, Spurs have the worst home record in the Premier League for any club that's been in both seasons. We've won 3 games in the whole of the Premier League in this calendar year, and that goes Jan Frank. That isn't just because we are the worst team in the league. That's because there's a bit of a mentality thing where eventually things go against you. I always use City as the prime example. If we play City and they score in the first minute and then it's ruled offside, they go, crap, it's Tottenham again. They're just going to beat us. They're just going to find a way to do it. And sometimes there's a mentality thing, and we hate to admit it, but they're the sort of things that happens. They are these little niggly darts where you go, these are the bogey team. These are just the team that are just going to do us over. And these are the things that Arsenal need to kind of, once they get over the line once, if we have this same conversation next year where Arsenal after 12 games are top and they won the league this year, nobody's going to be saying these things. It's just that they haven't proved it yet. Now, I said the signs are looking good. 100% they are. They look solid. They look like if they can deal with injuries. They look like they're never going to get beat, which is, I know they've been beat, but they just never look like they're going to get beat. So that's great signs. But it's the pressure times. It's towards the end of the season. It's like what everyone says. The championship rounds. That's when they need to just prove it.
That's why they are building the distance. That's why they're building the distance. Let me do the Superchats. Spurs didn't bottle. They came third in a 2-horse race. Then Arsenal comes second in that year. Behind Leicester.
They did.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think Spurs were even. There was no shout for Spurs to win the title, to be honest. Leicester were always going to win it. Mo, have some shame losing to the Italian Coppa with 5 at the back from hell. How and why you did let Pulisic score? Just simple.
Pulisic, wow.
Bro, he scored the tap in by follow from the goalkeeper on the goal line. Anyway, it's a mentality thing with Inter. The same thing. It's like the big players are not stepping up. To be honest with you, attitude reflects leadership. And if my captain is Lautaro Martinez, it's just leadership. To be honest, that is the difference. But yeah, it is what it is. I still think that Inter is the best team in Italy. Just we cannot win any big games because of the mentality. Can you actually argue with football facts on this season why Arsenal can't win the league? Dennis?
No, cannot.
There is nothing.
But
nothing.
They have a solid team. There's no denying they have a solid team. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, I'll back it up.
There's depth. They bought well. There's quality and depth. They can withstand injuries. There's all these things. But
the sample is too small. It is early in the season, and I think there's no facts that we can talk in complete facts anyway. There are no absolutes at this stage in the season. Yes,
absolutely, and I don't think that after game week 13,
then start to go, okay, there's enough of a sample size, because you can sit there and go, well, Liverpool can get back into the title race because look at the first 5 games, and that's half the sample size.
The only thing I'd say, sorry lads, just to add on to that, is I saw a graphic Sky Sports used, and every team that's had this point lead, and I know there's often this gets broken, but every team after 12 games has had at least a 6-point lead at the top, goes on to win the league. Like, no team's ever not won it from this point. And you say it's a small sample size, Souls. I hear it, you're trying to do the humble thing, but it's a third of the season, and we know what Arsenal done in the last few seasons. So yeah, that's all I'd say.
It.
Okay.
The sample's there. This is a good team.
Test it, man. Bring the chest, son. Bring the chest.
We'll talk at the end of the season.
We can bring the chest. The reason, the fact is, right, we've had a good conversation, and that's why I'm going to play devil's advocate on this.
I like it.
When we competed for the title for the first season, when we got to that 50 points in record time for Arsenal, we still went on to lose the season. So I'm not doing a humble thing. I do think we've won the league. That's my true opinion. I don't rave about it, but it is still. I'm just gonna take
The only
it
thing
as
I'd
it comes.
say, so
just
just to make you feel better about that season, that was the treble winning Erling Haaland record breaking season of Man City. I can
Yeah,
forgive
but
them.
we
I
were
can
like,
forgive them. For
I
that.
can't forgive
Okay.
anything.
But-
Look, I can't forgive things. I still back the team, but
You got to
I can
forgive
sit
your
there and
club,
still,
man.
no, fuck that. I don't forgive. Look, the reality is I back them and I support them, and I've never been Arteta out, but I can't. It doesn't mean I have to forgive them. You can hate certain things that your club has done, and it's
True.
perfectly fine. It doesn't mean you don't love or support them any less. It's like if your kid done something horrendous, you can hate that, but it doesn't mean you hate your kid.
But when you get to and talk about the end of the season again here, right? What you could have it where Arsenal get to the FA Cup final, they're in the semi-finals of the Champions
Don't
League.
even say
They're
it.
no, but and then City for whatever reason have gone out and they're out of everything and just playing one game a week. And like, so these are all the things that can change in football.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's beyond your control in some ways, in terms of if you're solid and you carry on doing what you're doing, you're probably going to go far in every competition.
At that point, I'm hoping we've won it.
No, but
Let
that's
me do
that's why I'm
the-
saying if you do it early, if you get the title wrapped up early like Liverpool did, you don't have that pressure because there's so long to go anyway. You've still got so long to pick up them points. So this is why so many factors go into it, and that's why the end of the season becomes that pressure cooker because you can still be in all these competitions.
Let me do this too. Big up my brother Mo on the panel, not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but also I'm not saying we are winning the league yet, but Arsenal will beat Chelsea next week and City will draw against Fulham away next week. Oh my God, my man.
Guys, Arsenal fans, calma.
Abdullah, come on, my man.
Keep it up. Keep going, man. Believe.
No, calma.
Believe.
Like, we take it one game at a time.
That time, it will be 9 points, right? If
We're
City,
playing Fulham next week. We play Fulham, not
they're
City.
not losing. Look, City are losing to Leeds.
City aren't losing to Leeds.
Yeah, Erling Haaland as well. Erling Haaland was born in
anyone who's
Leeds.
got Erling Haaland, triple captain him.
Yeah, Erling Haaland hat trick, born in Leeds.
You're gonna smash Leeds, bro. Abdul.
It's written.
That's kids' logic. Winner's mentality doesn't mean you cannot lose or make mistakes. Every winner besides Messi has to overcome, be in, and get experience.
Even Messi's held L's, man.
Yeah.
Everyone holds
Everyone, of course.
Everyone holds L's. But to be honest, in Capia today, one of the things I wanted to actually mention, the depth guys. Well, Arsenal today didn't complain that Shalabah's playing or Fofana or Tosin playing. You know what? They just went about their business. And Hincapié played, you know. It's just
Mo,
not.
you know what? I'm glad you mentioned Nkapia because I was watching
Yes,
it
Couch?
and I was thinking.
You hear?
Oh yeah. I missed what you said. Sorry.
No,
It's
but
okay.
I dozed
It's
off
okay.
a
It's
minute
okay.
there. Sorry, I
It's
dozed off. I heard
okay.
something about
It's
Caliban and I
okay.
dozed off, man.
It's all right. Because the guy looked, bro, I'm watching the guy. I know that Chris and Luke said that Spurs didn't lay a glove. But I think it's because every time Kudus, by the way, had 30 touches in 75 minutes he played. That is good number of touches for a team that set up defensively. He only completed 6 passes or 9 passes. That's because of how strong Nkapé is and Zubamendi and Rice defensively. This guy Nkapé is.
But it's easy when you've got
Structure
3-on-1.
more than
This is what I'm saying, Charles.
Yeah.
This is the problem. And we had it against.
Why don't you structure the same? Sorry, Luke. I'm sorry. Apologies, Luke. I really apologize. Why don't you structure, Dennis? Like, it's about the structure. All the individuals, it's about the structure. All of this is about the structure. Why don't you structure defensively then? If it's only about the structure. Why
I agree. Why
don't Chelsea fans complain?
I don't think.
Fofana's not there and Kulu is not. Why don't you structure?
Bro, how many clean sheets do we have? Bro.
So you are structuring.
Did you see,
so I don't want to hear.
Did you see what we did to these same Spurs fans?
And Shalaba playing. So I don't want to. Okay, so I don't want to hear complaints. So I don't want to hear complaints then.
Okay.
I don't want to hear complaints then. I don't want to hear complaints. So it's about the structure. So you should structure then as well. Everyone should structure.
I'm pretty sure.
Regardless of the personnel.
How many clean sheets have we kept this season?
So you are good then. Okay. So finally,
what do you want me to tell you? We're good. Yeah, we're a good team. We're winning without Cole Palmer right now, man. We're winning without Colwell.
Apologies, Luke.
We're good.
He just had to have that thing about the structure. It's so because you don't want to give credit to the player, Dennis. That is the thing.
Kape?
Yeah.
I mean, was he ever threatened?
Exactly. See, I'm telling you.
Was he threatened though? At all? Can anyone? Did the Spurs threaten at all this game? Can anyone tell me?
I
The
don't
work
think
was
so.
done in front of the defense, right? If I'm not mistaken.
They scared themselves. That's all.
Like the work was done in front of the defense. Like there was they didn't have anything to do. They're just cleaning up scraps here and there.
But Hincapie is
challenge.
still a quality defender, though, regardless of.
Okay, maybe we'll see. Big up, Lewis, man. Holding down the fort here for us, man. Let's go.
Go ahead, Luke. Luke, you were going to say something about the structure and Hincapie and the
Yeah.
Arsenal plan.
Yeah, no. Again, I'm not saying this to kind of downplay what Arsenal did. I'm not trying to do that in any way. But they didn't have to get out of second gear. They didn't have to try. They didn't. I mean, Hincapie didn't have a one-on-one battle. He didn't have there was never a case where he was in trouble or the player picked up the ball and turned on him. And going back to kudos, it is so easy. Like if I'm an opposition manager who's got any brain tactically, which we know Arteta does, you just stick two men on the same guy and that's it. That's it. A game over. There's no, you don't need to. And you're talking about completed passes. That's why, because he's picking up the ball on his own. He's trying to do things and beat people. So it is a defensive structure that's been put in place that allows, but also part of it is that on our side as well. We've not pushed enough people forward. We're not committing enough. So therefore it's easy to play against. You know what I mean? So again, he's a great player. Obviously a lot of players wanted it. A lot of Spurs fans were hoping that we would go in for him. So it's not saying that he's not any good or anything like that, but Spurs were terrible. Spurs were absolutely terrible, and Arsenal, part of it will be because of the way Arsenal played 100%, but you can still be by far and away a worse team and still create and look dangerous. And that's what I'll write whenever I watch a game. I write down notes, and every 10-15 minutes I just write down notes, and I literally just kept writing down, we don't look dangerous. Not 1 second has any Arsenal player gone, oh, we better go make sure we're all right here. Like we didn't run in behind. There was no balls over the top. There was nothing going onto it. There was no one looking dangerous. It was literally as if we were just happy just to keep giving them the ball and just hope that we could see it out till 65 minutes. That's what it looked like to me. The game plan was get to 60, 65, bring on Mawani, who probably wasn't fit to start the game, bring on other players, Brennan Johnson's trying to hit on a counter. But there was just absolutely nothing there. It was so abject. And if there was no team in the Premier League that would have played us today and not beat us. They were that bad. They were absolutely shambolic. And this is coming.
City would not have beaten. City would have lost.
City might not have.
City might have found a way to lose this game, but one way or the other. You know,
we were like, normally when you have a bad performance, you normally sit and go, actually, you know what? He played well, or he done his bit, and none of them. They was absolutely.
I think they were set up to fail. But yeah, that's Frank. Who's Eze? Eze reminds him. Who is with 3? Oh, he said who's Eze. Oh, yeah, he mocked Eze in the press conference, didn't he?
There was a snippet taken where he actually says Eze's a brilliant player, blah 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 blah. So, but
speaking about Eze,
you remember we were talking about it with Souls and who's that guy? The guy the glasses.
Dayo.
That guy. What's his name?
Dayo, the Nigerian. The Nigerian
brother. You were on stream with us telling us that, we don't need Eze. We don't need, I'm telling you, this guy he could be the X factor. Like, I can't lie. Like, he is just so exquisite on the ball. His ball striking, he doesn't even have a big backlift, and he just strikes it so clean and true. It's a dangerous proposition. But don't ever tell me again, but we don't need this guy. Like, he is just top level quality, man.
Can I tell you something I said in the summer and people ridiculed what I said? I actually said that Eze's effect for Arsenal, if he's given a chance to play regularly, consistently, will be similar effect to Ulisses' effect on Bayern Munich.
Yeah, 100%.
I actually believe that. And by the way, I wanted Eze to leave Crystal Palace 2 years ago. When Man City were linked with him 2 years ago and they didn't get him, I think didn't they get Matthias Nunes 2 summers ago or something, or 1 summer ago?
Yeah.
I think they wanted to get Eze and Crystal Palace said no. I actually wanted to see Eze playing for a team that would be given a chance to challenge, right? I was kind of annoyed when he was linked for Spurs, to be honest, because of Thomas Frank, because of the way Thomas Frank plays. I genuinely believe that this guy is so talented. Think about it, he's 27. He's so talented to the point that if you give him a chance, you give him confidence. And if Arteta allows him to express himself on the pitch, like dribble a halfway line, carry the ball, you don't have to pass, just dictate that, like play your game. I think he'll be one of the best players in the league in that position, in the number 10. Because that strength and the technical ability on him, his first touch is immense. His carrying the ball is ridiculous. The physicality and also the technical ability to shoot as well. The guy, we've seen bangers from him at Crystal Palace. And I think he will have the same effect as Olise if he didn't a chance. Also.
I think the only thing that worries me with Eze is when Odegaard's back, will Arteta put Eze back out on the left? Because I think what you saw today, Eze's best in playing centrally. That's where he does his best work. I think he can play on the left, but yeah, just be interesting to see what he does when Odegaard's back. Because I think Eze...
give you a different thing though. Did you see how Trossard was playing today? That's what Eze will do. He'll play in the same zones, because even if you look at Trossard today, he actually drifted a lot central. Yes, he does have his wide moments. Don't get it.
But Souls, do you not think that's because Marino was playing up front? Like if Gyökeres was, I think if Gyökeres was playing, when Gyökeres plays, you don't see Trossard making those same type of runs. I think it depends who plays up front. I think if Havertz or Marino, even Jesus, then the left winger, but Gyökeres is normally, I don't know. I just think Odegaard, the easiest thing to do is to put Odegaard back in. I think Eze will drift inside more, but when Eze was playing on the left and we still had Odegaard fit, Eze was having to, Arteta likes his wide players hug the touchline. I think the only reason Trossard was cutting in was because Moreno was there, but we'll have to see, man.
I don't like this comment, actually. I don't think different games calls for different lineups. You can change one or two, but I think players need to have consistency and actually just run the games. Because you have the quality to play your system and your manager's system, you need to run the games. One of the problems that happened, but they have the quality.
Oh, you're talking about Arsenal? Yeah.
I'm talking about Arsenal. You need to run a game to actually get into gears and to get used to your teammates. Chopping and changing doesn't help anyone.
Like I agree.
The City treble team, Phil Foden was benched. Riyad Mahrez was benched. They kind of set on a box midfield with a certain players. You can change one or two every now and then, but the same team played most of the time. And I think, I know people say, oh, it's a good thing to have the privilege to chopping and changing. I think that disrupts rhythm because of the runs and the way people run. I think that disrupts the way the team plays with each other. He has to make up his mind where Eze and Odegaard are going to play. You can do this here and there. He needs to make up his mind. Is Odegaard coming back to play? Or is Eze going to stay? Or is he going to drop one as Aubameyang and Rice and play Eze and Odegaard like he did one game? That is what he needs to make up his mind.
I'll say this, though. And I think you're right. Yeah, go. Yeah,
who's going to go?
I'm pretty sure I said that when we were talking about it too, that he can cut inside from the left and be that number 10 inside. We talked about that. But I think what you were saying before, Mo, holds weight, but we're not talking about making wholesale changes. Like the structure of Arsenal, like the foundation, the spine is going to be the same. You can chop and change one and two players here and there, as the games may have it, but they're going to keep the same fundamentals within the team. Like when Gabriel's back, it's going to be Gabriel next to what's his name, the Saliba, Declan Rice, Zubamendi might come in.
You're starting center backs and full backs.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think unless Eze plays like what Palmer did under Poch, which is, even though on paper he's a right winger, he's still drifting to the same position. And he's receiving the ball from the same place, but that wouldn't happen with Eze. Eze's playing kind of centrally to the right. If you watch today's heat map, he's mostly central and to the right, so he occupies all that area, right?
Because Declan Rice operates. Yeah, Declan Rice takes up the other
you
space.
You put him as a left winger, you completely change the way he looks at the game.
Facts.
The way the angles of his passes and the way he cuts in. That you changing everything. He's receiving passes from Timber instead of Calafiori now. You put him to Calafiori. Calafiori doesn't make the same overlaps as Timber. He inverts. He does things differently. Now this whole game is changing. And unless you're telling me Eze is the most genius player in the world that he will change every game, I don't think he should do that. If he's playing well, he should play well in that.
And Gyökeres would play Gyökeres would play the striker role completely different to Moreno, right? So
Right.
this is what I'm saying. This is the problem that Spurs have. We have a lot of players that fit into a position, but the partner that plays alongside them, either in front of them or next to them, doesn't fit with that profile. So Spence is probably our best left back defensively, but actually if he plays at left back, he comes inside, which means your winger has to stay wide. We don't have a fitter profile of a winger that stays wide. So therefore Spence then negates away from us being, so everything comes central. But he's a great player in that position. And I think that's the problem. Like today, for instance, if Gyökeres started, Eze doesn't have as much freedom to roam because he probably has to stay where he is a little bit more. Trossard probably has to stay a bit wider. So I think that's all a part of it. It's not just a case of, I'll take that player out, put that player in, unless they're exactly like for like.
Yeah.
Players now in the Premier League is not like that. Then it becomes different. You have to make alterations slightly elsewhere for other players. So listen, I think at the moment, Eze is, if Eze is the guy, Eze starts, that should be what it is. But it'd be interesting to know whether you guys think that Moreno should be the one that starts up front or
No.
for Gyökeres.
No chance.
In certain games.
I'm waiting for Havertz to come back. That's my king.
Nah, don't. Ismo, you say no chance, yeah. Luke, we look pretty good with Marino and 9 today. I don't know if it's because Tottenham were that bad. I don't think they, obviously, I'm a Victor Gyökeres man. I want Gyökeres to come straight back into the team, but Moreno's not a bad option. I think he's a better 9 than he is a midfielder. I think he's much more effective when he plays in the 9 than in the 8. So
he doesn't play in the 9.
No, but positionally, like where he's named, he occupies that.
Today he played exactly the same as he played for Spain, Romario, which is
but that's
there is
what I mean.
9, he's complete free to go anywhere in the front line he wants.
Yeah, he's a false 9. He's not like, but when he plays in midfield for us, Mo, where Declan Rice normally plays, you don't really
because
see
of the structure.
Him. Yeah, he doesn't really. He doesn't really, but that's my point. Marino, when he's named as R9 or in that central forward role, he's much more effective than when he's playing in our midfield. Rice Zubimendi, you're not going to put him where Marino was today, is what I'm saying. Marino seems to be better as an attacker than a midfielder for me.
Fair enough. Let me do this. Go ahead. I don't want to keep you guys for long. I just want to say it might scare Chelsea because Arsenal didn't pass second gear.
No, I don't think Chelsea is interfering. I think it's going to be a
shaking their boots over here, man. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
They didn't get out of second gear.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something.
I can't wait for Sunday, but it's going to be.
You know what?
Crazy,
I have not seen one Chelsea fan scared of Arsenal, which is astonishing to me.
No, but they shouldn't be though. That's the reality. Like, look, it's at Stamford Bridge. They've got a very good record against us, regardless of how good or bad we've been.
It's not that great in the last
2019, bro. We haven't won against 2019.
So it is pretty good. We still haven't beaten them, so we can't sit here and like go in there with a bravado of like we're gonna go there and turn them over. Look, it'll be a very good game. I hope we do win, but yeah.
Honestly, like the games at Stamford Bridge the last little while have not been. It's not like there's a golfing class that separated the two teams. It's two teams going at it. We're gonna see where it ends, but I'm confident my boys will pull it out. I'm just sitting here chilling. Really, I'm really not. I'm actually looking forward to the game. I'm just chilling though. There's nothing really that I'm thinking about that's making me feel like, oh my god.
Do you think all the
there's just like real worry now? Like Chelsea, you're gonna have to play this Arsenal team that is going to look what they're doing to Spurs. Like it's not like
do
that.
Do you think the pressure is more on Arsenal in that game or Chelsea at Stamford Bridge? Do you think the pressure is more on Arsenal or Chelsea in that game? Actually, don't answer. Chris, Spurs fan, a neutral here. Do you think that pressure is more on Arsenal or Chelsea in that game at Stamford Bridge?
Probably on Arsenal, just because you want the points. You need the points to maintain the gap between yourselves and City. Chelsea will be confident because they're at home. And as I said before, your home should be your fortress. That's where you should be confident and you should want to win all your games there. So Arsenal will be going there not thinking we're going to go and turn them over, but they'll be probably going there thinking not just we need to win because it's a London derby, but we need to win because we want to keep momentum going on our season and we want to keep the gap as big as possible. But while we're in this stage, because December, everyone knows the Christmas period, it's a busy month and you'd want to get your points in as early as you can, especially against
busy,
the title rival.
The fixtures. we might not even have a Boxing Day fixture. So is it as
There's
congested as it
there's
used
one
to be?
Boxing Day fixture in the whole of
It's
the
already
Premier.
decided. It's Man United, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's only
exactly.
one.
So I don't know
Really
how
decided.
congested it's going to be this season because they seem to be.
No, but you'll have to play. There are other days. It will be a game every day.
Yeah. That'll
Like,
be
it's
still
not only Man
congested.
United will play. It's still going to be congested.
And we have a
Not
Carabao
everyone will
Cup
play
game as
Boxing
well.
Day, but people will play their games. They
And
just
we've
spread
got
in the game.
Crystal Palace on the 23rd, which is a bit awkward as well. But what I'd
You've-
say, I just want to say to couch
And
it,
before
Chelsea-
Romario,
I'm getting under
no,
your skin,
man,
aren't
what
I,
are you
Romario?
doing to me?
I'm
I'm getting
might
under your
as well
skin. I
go
can
back.
feel it.
Romario,
I
might
can
as well
feel
go
I
it,
back.
need
man.
him to answer this before you come in, Romario. I need him to answer this.
Hmm.
Which team has more pressure, Chelsea or Arsenal, in the game?
Well, you're telling
Yeah,
me,
ask
you
me.
already told me that the champions, if they
I'm
win this,
asking you. Don't tell me I told you shit. You tell me what you think. It's like you told me Arsenal this. You tell me what you think.
I
Don't
think
tell me
Chelsea have more. I think Chelsea have more pressure.
He don't
because-
believe that. He don't believe that.
Yeah, I think Chelsea
Oh
have more
my
pressure.
word!
He don't
I
believe
think
that.
I think it actually depends on the results because that's the last game of the weekend. I think it depends on the how the other results go. If City
Let's be
win,
real,
they're 4
City
points.
are winning.
If City
City
win,
are
they're
winning,
they're-
Luke.
City
Basically.
win. City won
they're them
already.
four-
Don't worry about
They're
it.
them 4 points
It's a win.
behind Arsenal, so the pressure seeps back to Arsenal. If
Good
City
point,
lose or draw, Arsenal have got free reign, right? Chelsea need to win to keep.
Nah, Luke, I think
And
the
Luke,
pressure-
if
I think if
City
City
lose, look,
lose-
if City lose, they just quit the season. Just walk up, just abolish the
Nah,
season.
souls.
I-
Nah, this is where we're going.
I hope
wrong.
they
If
don't, 'cause
City
I'm-
lose. I
I'm-
think the pressure's on even more. You have to capitalize
No,
on
no,
that. You
City can't lose to Leeds. I'm sorry, City.
Yeah,
they're just,
obviously.
it's just not
Obviously.
possible.
But what I wanted to say to Couch was, it's funny because he said he's not scared of Arsenal. And I don't, like Sol said, I don't really expect you to be scared of Arsenal, but our record's pretty good at Stamford Bridge in the last 6-7 years. Chelsea haven't beaten us since 2018 at
Yeah, it's
Stamford Bridge.
sad.
And when I was growing up, you lot used to smack us like Drogba used to just slap it top bins.
Senderos. I know those. I remember those
Senderos,
days.
yeah. I actually interviewed Senderos last year and I reminded him that he caused me a tough childhood. But we're not scared of Stamford Bridge either. Stamford Bridge isn't what it used to be. Chelsea fans aren't even confident enough to say they're challenging for the league. I was on Mo's show the other week and I was trying to get him to say, just say you're there or thereabouts. So no one's scared of Chelsea either. So listen, hopefully me and you can have a conversation next week and we'll see what happened. But I'm very
here, man. I'm around. Don't
Very
worry. I'm not hard to find.
Sunday we'll do a show at 11. It will be at 11.
I'm staying out of all conversations for at least a week.
Yeah, we did that one. Abdullah is saying, but they are playing against Fulham Tuesday night. Yeah, that's the day. That's the after this. It's not the set. Like it's not. I think that's the week. The week after game week 14. Abdullah, if I'm not mistaken. But they play Leeds first, and then in the same time, Arsenal play Villa away, who haven't lost at home. By the way, just to put that. In
I've also
perspective.
just checked as well. There's Arsenal have got 8 games in December.
It's a
8
lot.
games?
One,
Well, is that all competitions?
all competitions. I think it's one in the Champions League and then one in Palace in the Carabao
I'm
Cup.
glad
and
I
then
get to see
6.
my team more. Yay.
1,
Nice.
2, 3, 4, 5.
And this is the point that I made earlier about how many games you have
Fuck
to
me.
play.
It's
and
We're
8
fine. We're
work.
fine.
8 games, but one of the things about it is that that last 3 games are all at home. They don't go away at all.
Yeah, but isn't like the Everton game supposed to be like potentially cancelled?
No, it's already been sorted. Palace and Arsenal were debating, but that's why the fixture's on the 23rd because Crystal Palace have a Conference League game on the 21st, I think, or the 20th. But Palace have a weird schedule, so they had to move it.
Arsenal already trying to get favours from everyone. Look at this. This is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Mate,
Anyway,
we're doing
I-
Palace a favour.
Anyway,
wanna
fellas,
thank
gotta
everyone.
run. My dinner's ready, so we'll
Yeah,
talk again soon.
Yeah, see you.
We'll speak soon. Take
Big
care.
up, Couch.
In
Big
a
up.
bit, Couch.
Guys, big up everyone that joined us, of course, people. Spotlight on Spurs. You'll see Chris, you'll see Luke. Very rational people talk about Spurs as well. Fantastic content. Thank you guys for being here. Chris, absolute honor to have you here on the channel for your debut. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, Romario Webster, as you guys see him on Talk Sport, is here with us. Of course, his channel is up there. Also follow him on in Instagram as well. He posts a lot of stuff on Instagram, all of his interviews and all the stuff that he does for Talk Sport as well. I'm going to also see here on Osam. You'll see, of course, on Egal TV, of course. So big up everyone that joined us. And guys, make sure to check out OK Jersey. I can show you a glimpse of that. Look at this. This is from OK Jersey right there at Chelsea.
Hey, why'd you get that?
It's right here. There's plenty. Here you go. It's City as well.
Oh, Haaland's
love
dad
the
played
red
in that kit. Yeah, Haaland's dad played in that.
Alan, that this is the Man United one. I got myself to actually buy a Man United one as well.
I
Yeah,
love
that
the
just
retro
reminds
stuff.
me of Roy Keane. That's just Roy Keane, isn't it?
And I
Yeah,
got a
you're moving like
Liverpool.
Hamza, you know.
Bro, I'm Inter fan. I'm like, why is everyone allowed to wear like Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and I'm not allowed to have
Where's
shirts
the,
from
where's
other
the
clubs?
Tottenham shirt? Where's the Tottenham shirt?
I'm gonna tell you something, Luke. I have
criminal.
3 sets. I have 3 sets of Spurs jerseys from 15, 16, 16, 17 sets, complete sets with numbers and everything. They're back down.
We'll see them next week.
I have plenty of these. And big up everyone that joined us. This will take you to the Ram stand. Hit the like button, guys, and subscribe to the channel before you go. We can get to 300 likes. I'll see you guys soon. We're out of here, people.